And I'm David. We're talking about the Celebrity Big Brother finale.
Oh my gosh, the roller coasters, the emotional roller coaster these finales take you through.
And I gotta say,
every single time.
The two of us were saying thank God at the end of this episode because we weren't sure we were gonna be happy. But we are.
I was super nervous going into this finale because I knew who they were going to take away.
Right.
So let's just get right into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
So they start with this second to last HOH competition.
Right.
I was like, Candy and Dina. Can you try harder, please? Like, how are you the two?
One of them needed to win. That would have been so amazing.
Yes.
If one of them had won and shooken it up.
Dina's just like, why aren't they sticking?
She literally thought it wasn't working.
She doesn't even know the rules.
And she's timed out and it's like,
gone.
No, you're done.
And Candy, I would think after the first time that your thing's demagnetized, you're not going to make that same mistake again.
She could not get back.
At least 3 times it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, this is unreal.
Yeah.
So Ricky sort of just won by default.
Right.
Because then, meanwhile, Tamar's afraid of heights.
Right.
And is freaking out for 5 minutes at the beginning of the competition.
She eventually goes, and it's a close time. So, like, if she hadn't freaked out in the beginning, she might have had it. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Ricky wins. So then, it's an obvious nomination. They don't show us any game talk because it's not necessary.
Because there really barely was any in the house, actually.
Yeah. He nominates Dina and Candy.
Yeah.
Dina, it's her first time being nominated. I have to say, she didn't handle it super well.
But isn't that hilarious? She could not stop being like, I guess we're the best.
I guess I'm the biggest threat.
I guess we're the best.
We're the best players.
The best ones get nominated, right? To the point that Ricky had to be like, no, you're not the best. He couldn't even pretend with her.
Right.
That was so funny.
Yeah, so she was a little bit salty.
Yeah.
We do see a little bit of Ricky and Tamar talking at this point too, and we see them both lay the groundwork with each other for this final 2 deal.
Well, let's go ahead and just skip to who wins the veto. Because that factors into all of this.
Yes.
Boringly, Lola wins.
We knew.
Fine, great.
Going into this, once we saw the competition, we were like, Dina's gonna be horrible at this. And she delivered.
Sure enough, a montage.
Of
that we were like rolling on the floor and we knew it was going to be shown to us and we still
so funny.
Still so funny.
I really wanted more from Candy.
Yeah, again, Candy, you could have done better.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
No.
So here we are.
Yes.
Lolo wins it. Obviously, this is going to be Lolo's comp.
And so she's like now wanting to talk strategy with Ricky and Tamar.
In reality, in the house, she talked very little strategy because they had already sort of discussed that, you know, they had been talking, who do we want to go? Dina, Candy, Dina, Candy. We did see a moment of Ricky and Tamar, what you were alluding to, of being like, we could backdoor Lolo. There was a moment of that. So it was a plan B. It was an option if but she obviously won veto. So that's
not an option.
Whatever.
Right.
So now that we know those are the 2 final people on the block, Tamar had done a really great job of, I would not be able to swallow it if Dina won this thing. That would be horrible for the whole season.
Nobody wants that, do they?
We can't let Dina get close to it.
No.
Obviously working very hard to keep Candy.
Because Candy would take her to the final 2.
And I think she would have taken Candy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
But she's trying to keep her.
But she's trying to keep Candy without being like, you guys, we gotta keep Candy.
Yeah.
You know, she's trying to play it all cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, Ricky sees through that, and Lolo is just like, I don't know. Candy's hard to beat, which is true.
Yeah.
Candy's going to be better than Dina at competitions.
Right.
Now, interestingly enough, and none of this was shown on the show. Yeah. Dina actually started playing the game these last couple days.
Yeah.
And she sat Lolo down and struck the fear of God in her.
Yeah, planted those seeds of paranoia.
Like, you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Candy and Tamar have a deal. Ain't nobody gonna take you.
Yes.
Like, she really made it clear that I'm your only hope. And it got to Lolo.
Yeah.
And Lolo, even though Lolo was kind of listening to Tamar and was like, okay, open to keeping Candy.
Yeah.
After talking to Dina, she was not. She was like, Dina has to stay, Candy's gotta go.
Right.
And then she was able to get to Ricky, and both of them switched on Tamar because they were going to keep Candy, and then they switched to keep Dina.
Yeah.
So as of this morning, when the feeds finally shut down, it looked like we were gonna lose Candy in this final 5, and Tamar would have had to work some like crazy magic.
Yeah, right. And sure enough, it does come down to a tie, and Ricky as the HOA can only vote in the case of a tie because, you know, Tamar voted to keep Candy. She was her girl until the very end, and Ricky very swiftly breaks that tie and
he did it so quick. It was too quick for me.
But I have to say, like, Candy and Dina's speeches went on forever, so the fact that Ricky didn't do some like long drawn out speech, I was like, okay, short and sweet.
That's true. Candy's speech I really liked.
She did have a really sweet speech.
Boy, she really tried that, you know, everything I can at this last minute.
And like, nobody's going to beat Dina.
Yeah.
She even threw that in there.
Yes, which is like, what she's been saying the last few days.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough. So Candy goes out. She has a really sweet interview, very emotional, talking about Tamar. I was so invested in the fact that they became friends.
You guys, okay. We're not really talking about Monday's episode, which was like the reminiscing show.
Yes.
But I'll have to say the only package I cared about was the Candy Tamar
I almost cried.
I truly need to see Instagram photos of them in life after this.
I need dinners together.
I need to know that they are okay.
Oh, please stay okay.
Why am I so invested?
I don't know. But when Tamar was like, she called me a friend, I was like, I feel that, you know?
I totally do. So obviously I wanted them to be final 2 together. That didn't happen, but like Candy saying, you know, we are friends and we had this experience and I mean, Candy just seems like a lovely person.
A lovely person, yes. And we should say on Candy's way out the door, Tamar secures that vote and she's like, I'm so glad we had this time. I'm so glad we had this time.
Yeah.
So she's doing that jury management still.
Not to mention, I think Candy played a good game. But anyway.
Yeah. Then do we go right into the next HOH?
Yes. So now we have the final HOH.
Okay, as we discussed in the last video, Ricky had started to make these deals where he was going to throw it so that Lolo and Tamar would take him if they won. Lolo wasn't as into it as Tamar put on that she was.
Right. We had pointed out, Lolo was like, let me pray on it. And Tamar was like, you got it. I got you, boo.
Yeah.
All about you.
Yes, of course.
This.
Please throw it.
Yeah. So apparently that did affect the way Ricky thought because he clearly was not throwing this competition.
No.
And it clearly becomes a Dina's not a threat.
Oh.
You guys chose correctly. Dina's not competing for this.
Yes.
And Lolo's struggling a little bit. And I'm thinking, Ricky, you know you're in with Tamar. Let her win. But I guess that's just me.
Yeah, right. But it did come down to the very last question. Ricky was 1 ahead.
Yeah.
And then it ended in a tie between he and Tamar.
Yes.
So they go to this tiebreaker, and it's...
And I'm like, great, he's horrible at math. Tamar's got this all day long.
Wonderful. But then Tamar guesses in days and not hours. She doesn't do the math.
No. He still was way off in math, but she was answering in days.
Yeah. So Ricky wins the final HOH. Back-to-back HOHs. At this point, we're miserable.
We're miserable.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to shoot this video.
I'm worried
if
about
Ricky
you guys.
Wins.
Yeah.
Celebrity Big Brother.
I don't know how we do this.
Yeah.
This is awful to us. Now, we know Ricky has a final 2 with Tamar.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the moment, what do you actually do?
Anything can happen. You really have to consider.
And honestly, I can't think who he has a better... I mean, obviously Dina.
Yeah. Right.
Anyone has a better chance against Dina.
Right. Because the other thing was, but like Julie was like, keep in mind this is a $250,000 decision. Right. She was driving home like this is a very important decision. Right. So, I mean, if I were Ricky, I'd be like, oh God, what if I make the wrong choice, right? So he's really thinking about it. But he honors that deal with Tamar, and interestingly, he says to Lolo, I offered this to you and you didn't want it. So
that is just pure Ricky. He has to sort of lord his power over people. Like, that is how he has been this whole game.
Right,
of
cult
like,
leader.
Yeah, cult leader of like, I am the one in charge.
Yeah.
I am the smartest, the bestest, the fastest, the whatever.
Right.
And so he had to take that moment to be like, sorry, that's on you, Lolo.
Right. And she doesn't take that well.
Oh my God. Wow.
So,
what have we learned about Lolo this season?
Yeah. She's
Don't
a hothead.
stare at her too long.
Yeah. So she goes out of the house and she is just at a loss. Well, she's not really at a loss for words with Julie.
She said she's at a loss
for words, but she had a lot of words.
This has to be the one and only time that I was like, I love Lola
Yes.
the hothead.
Right? I know.
The one time I was like, yes, girl, get tits.
Say it all. So Lola's obviously very upset.
Woo.
Meanwhile, Julie's like, Dina, are you upset? No.
No. I mean, Dina was never close to Ricky. Dina was one of the many people that Ricky had a little spat with.
Right.
Where he was so rude to people.
Yeah.
But she was like, probably glad she
care.
had gotten that far.
Yes.
Right?
Right. That she's there on finale night.
Yeah.
That's a win, really.
Yes.
So then,
Here we are.
The jury comes back.
out,
Yes.
which is the highlight to me because
Right.
they're entertaining and fun.
Right.
This final five
Yeah.
really stressed me out.
But I have to, like, before we really get to the votes and all
Okay.
that, it was great to see when he picked Tamar,
Yes.
the live audience was gasping.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
shocked. And we're like, I was freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like screaming because this is my best case scenario
Yes.
at this point. Like, I'm a Tamar fan.
Yes.
I've wanted her to win for such a long time, and he picks her, and I think he's legitimately going to lose to her, and I can't believe that he's picked her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm back in
Yeah.
to this finale.
I think we both wanted her to be at least in final two.
Yeah.
If she wasn't going to win, you know, it's hard to predict winners these days
Right.
because, you know, one person gets mad and
Right,
whatever.
right.
So at least her being in final two made us extremely excited.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, these last few people, like, Tamar legitimately played the game.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just saying favorites.
No.
She actually did make moves and had to, you know, pivot
And built relationships
Yeah.
and made people laugh. It turns out that was important. Like,
Yeah, right.
she really made a lot of moves that worked for her this season.
and she was able to articulate it. So let's
Yes,
get to
right.
that.
Yes. So the speeches and the question and
Jury
answer.
is asking questions,
Right.
they're giving their speeches, and the very first question is like an obvious question.
It's like, what's your biggest game move?
Yeah, and
Ricky's
Ricky-
like,
what did he? I can't even remember what he said. But
I
it
don't
was
even know.
Horrible.
It wasn't really even a game move.
Yeah.
I
And
don't.
then they go to Tamar, and she had an amazing answer.
Yeah.
So on answers and speeches alone, Tamar sold herself.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Because Tamar was her biggest game move. She's like, I got Tom out and I got Kato out. I was
Because
HOH
they
and
were
I used
gonna
veto.
win. They were the biggest. They were the hardest people to beat.
Thank you. And that's the thing you have to do. When Tom is someone that you are responsible for evicting and you danced on his way
Yeah.
out the door.
Yeah.
If you then are
Repair
like,
that.
Tom, you were such a threat to me. That's why I had to get you out. He's sitting there like, I was a threat.
I was hard to beat. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's not only saying like what she did,
Yeah.
but she's also making them feel good
Yes, right.
about themselves.
And then they ask, what's your biggest regret? Ricky regrets losing a veto or something.
Right.
And then Tamar's like, I regret being so emotional and fighting so much. And people are like, thank you. I can only imagine that the celebrities are like, thank you for apologizing for that.
Exactly. She made herself sound real, vulnerable. I got emotional. I
Right.
did some things that, you know, weren't as great because
Right.
I was in my emotion. You
Yes,
know, like
right.
that makes it so relatable
Mhm.
as the person who was evicted
Yes.
and was like, why is she dancing?
Yes,
You know?
right. She just had all the right answers.
She did.
She framed things the right way. The one thing I'll say that neither of them did particularly well was reciting their stats.
Yeah.
And pointing out the strengths that way.
Nobody said stats.
Tamar didn't even bring up the power of the publicist in her speech. That had
Yep.
to come up
Later.
while, you know, Julie was chatting with the jury later on. So I thought there could have been more of that, especially from Ricky winning back-to-back HOHs at the end. That's
Right.
a huge thing, but maybe those things don't matter as much in Celebrity Big
I
Brother.
know, that's the bummer, is because we think that they just vote for the nice person now,
Yeah.
the person who ticked them off the least.
Yeah,
Just doing your stats, maybe that's like rubbing it in or something.
sure, right. Maybe it's
I don't
too, like,
know.
boastful or something.
Yeah, but yeah, it was weird that none of them brought it up at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Not even like Ricky should have said like, I won this last HOH.
yeah.
Like that's something.
I evicted 3 people tonight.
Yeah.
That counts for something in regular Big Brother, but
Right.
not so here.
No. At this point, we're counting votes.
Yeah.
And honestly, when Ricky won and brought Tamar, I wasn't sure that Tamar was a win. I keep saying I can't predict how these people are going to vote.
Yeah.
I just can't.
No.
Even if he'd brought Dina, they
Who
could have
knows?
all voted for Dina because she was nicer than Ricky.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Ricky was a jerk. So,
Yeah.
like, that's valid if someone's like, he was a jerk. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. We can say Tamar ticked people off as well. She
Yeah.
definitely popped off on people.
Oh, 100%.
And Ricky ticked off people. So now
Yeah.
we've got, like, this kind of evenly matched in that area.
Yes.
They both won competitions.
Right.
They both were in the same alliance. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I started out with like, this is gonna be close.
It's been right. It might be like 5-4.
As they're talking and I'm like counting, I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't think Ricky gets too many votes. I think Tamar's gonna get more votes.
Uh-huh.
And then guess what, guys?
Whoa.
Ricky didn't get none votes.
Unanimously, Tamar wins. Only the second time to happen in Big Brother history, as Julie points out. I didn't realize that out.
Yeah, that's huge.
And the other thing was, Tamar has broken this curse of the first person to enter the house.
She entered the house first, you guys. And she's a black woman.
Right, which almost never happens.
And we historically, I don't think we've ever had 2 people of color in the final 2.
I think you're right, yeah.
Like, this is historic on multiple levels.
Yes.
This is, come on, guys.
I mean, it was great. And Tamar was shocked. I mean, when she was really playing it up when they were reading the votes. And because Julie reads Jonathan's vote, the first vote, and Tamar's like,
Well, she was like that a lot.
Right.
Which she's definitely acting, but I think she's also shocked. I think she
I was shocked that it was 5 votes, like the first 5 votes that are read and she wins. Like that was shocking, but I was so excited, clearly. Like, congratulations, Tamar. I think you deserved it.
Yeah.
And you played a really smart game and you didn't have to win everything because you had a good social game, even though you were like blowing up at people. Like,
but
she
like,
maneuvered
even
her way
Tom
through.
had made comments during the season of like, she's good for television. Yeah, she ticked off some people, but I think they get that it's part of her character and her entertainment value.
Right.
And I know you guys out there, the audience, she's polarizing. Some of you don't like her. I think we like her because we've known her before.
Yeah, right.
So maybe if you didn't know her before, if this is your first sort of entrance to her.
Right, she's in your face, she's loud, she's can be abrasive, you know, like.
She is extra.
Yes, for sure.
And she, you know, Big Brother, gosh, takes you on such an emotional roller coaster. You're away from your family, like it's such, like messes with you. Yeah. But she did play the game.
She did.
So I can't, like, this is not a Marissa to me. This is not a Josh to me. Like, this is not just a,
They're not trying to stick it to somebody by giving someone else the win.
Right. It was 2 people who equally pissed people off.
Yeah.
And both played the game. Like, Ricky had moves, Tamar had moves, and Tamar got a unanimous win.
And there were people who we thought maybe Tom and Kato might vote for Ricky. We thought maybe Natalie, Eva Marie might vote for Ricky.
100% would have put money on Tom and Kato voting for Ricky.
But then as soon as Tom was like, I'm voting for the person who made me laugh the most. I'm like, well, that ain't Ricky.
Yeah.
He didn't make anybody laugh.
He did not make,
ever.
and definitely not me.
No.
Yeah, then I was like, wait a minute, if Tom doesn't vote for Ricky, then he might not have gotten any votes.
Yeah.
Because Tom and Kato, I mean, Tom did that weird move of saving Ricky, which I don't think we'll ever fully understand.
Yeah.
But they had sort of set, like Tom was like, Ricky's the threat to win. If we don't get him out now, Ricky's gonna win. And he'd kind of said like, well, if he gets to the final, he gets my vote. It's kind of like that.
It was kind of that.
Exasperated, like, I can't get him out, so you guys,
he's the best.
You're gonna lose to him,
right?
You know. So here we are. He's in the final. Is Tom gonna vote for him? You know.
Turns out no.
No, he didn't laugh with Ricky.
And then they announce America's Favorite House Guest, and Ricky doesn't win that either.
Oh,
Can you believe it?
Shocker! I can't believe it. No, I mean, there was no one gonna be Tom. Tom had all the votes for that.
Right.
I was just worried if Tamar didn't make it to final 2 and then Tom won America's Favorite House Guest that she would like fall off the stage.
Yes, right.
She would not have been able to handle that. So thank goodness she wasn't celebrating.
Right.
And then he got to celebrate.
And she could hug him and be happy for him.
And the season is redeemed a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, this was not. Last season was better than this season.
I agree.
This season was not the greatest.
Yeah.
It was awkward at times, and there was
just a lot of like, it was just a lot of people who didn't know how to play the game, and so it's frustrating to watch them like fumble over their own feet a lot of the time, you know, and just like make stupid moves or not really consider strategy. I don't know. It just was. It was a weird season, but it ended on a high note for me.
Right.
Yeah.
There is that theory that you don't have to know how to play the game.
Sure, I mean, there is no one way.
Pivot and make it up as you go.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with that, and I think this is a good example of why you need to know a little bit about the game.
Right.
To make it work.
Yeah, there's a reason that like season 1 of regular Big Brother is not great, because they didn't know how to play the game. And then season 2, Dr. Will sort of defined how to play Big Brother.
It gets better. We should say it gets better. Yeah,
so.
exactly. I don't know. This is all just our opinion.
Yes, right.
But what a ride. Here we are.
And now they're casting for Big Brother 21 coming back this summer.
You guys, get ready to be sucked in this summer.
Yeah, for a lot longer.
Whoever these crazies are, I'll be invested. For sure.
Yeah.
But before that, we have Survivor coming up.
Next week,
Next week. So we will be back with a cast video first,
yes.
and then we'll dive into that season, and then apparently there's an amazing race.
Wow.
Eventually
Finally
going to come back
yeah.
with all of our Big Brother people that we want to see this season that they will not show me.
Okay.
Eventually that will come.
So we got a lot to cover.
And we will be back for that as well.
Yes.
And then the summer Big Brother.
Great.
You guys, what did you think about the season? Did you like this better than Last Celebrity?
Yeah.
Or just tell us what you thought, who
Yes.
you wanted to win. Are you happy with this finale?
Yes, share your thoughts. We're glad you stuck with us this
Yes.
season, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.